This podcast has topics in relation to death, suicide and drug use. This may be confronting for some listeners.
As veterans and first responders, we also use some dark humour in this episode. We ask that you keep in mind that dark humour is a timeless and research-supported method.
I just wanted to use that for dark humour.
I was like...
Yeah, I know. You were killing it. You were killing it. Hang on.
Here we go.
Number 10.
The round number episode.
And I'm back, baby.
Officially number 10. It's about episode 21 recorded.
You're back. Let's get around that tune. I do love it.
Little catch-up, little check-in episode today.
Yep. You notice we haven't done buddy checks for the last two?
Yeah.
But I've watched you looking.
Yeah, the eyes are moving over there, watching the counter.
He always does it. You see him. He's on there. He's having a look at it.
Well, the button is red, so we know we're live.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't know how to pause it, which is awkward. I think
We'll have to figure that out today.
I'm pretty sure you hold it. It's a holding thing.
We'll find out.
Yeah. But then I don't know if I just press it, does it stop or does it get back into it?
I've got a new saying, fuck around and find out. So we'll just see what happens.
He's just risking it at the moment.
It's like I had another person say something before. They were like, it's not optimal if that happens, but, see what happens. It's pretty much the same thing.
Pretty much.
If it said now we're sworn in under a minute, does that mean we're now cancelled or demonetised?
No, I think it's 8 seconds or something.
Is it?
Be right. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you don't get demonetised on Spotify anyway, mainly because you don't get any money.
We'll get a new, what is it, like the content at the start, a warning.
Yeah, we'll get a disclaimer that goes for
disclaimer.
over. Yeah, it'll go for over 8 seconds and then that way we're laughing. We're good to go.
Pretty much.
So catching up today to have a chat about 10th episode, although we have recorded more. Ooh. And Savvy's still on board after 10 episodes.
Not even going to wait. I'm just straight into the Savvy.
The lemon lime brain booster.
Yeah, definitely. Especially considering you've got a code, type Imposter, get a discount because we're sponsored. Get around us. Deal. Cheers to us.
Yeah. Thanks to Savvy for sticking by us for 10 episodes so far.
Also, like I do a quick shout out for 3 Zeros.
Yeah.
Got us onto hanging out with Matty Morris, which is great because we've got an extra 6 followers today. So massive deal since that's
our
coming
imposters
out.
Are listening to this, there is simultaneously Chris Burson on the Zero Limits podcast today, just released.
He is a massive deal, that man. Have you seen that?
Massive deal.
How's his jawline? Haven't you?
3.5 hour interview, and that'd be funny if he's edited you and now it's down to an hour and a half.
Yeah, because now you just outed me. It's like
3.5 hours of
45-minute interview. It's like 2.5 hours of crap that he was talking beforehand.
And once again, massive thank you to the 3 Zeros coffee crew for putting that trip together. There's absolutely no way we would have got I think we probably could have got you on Zero Limits, but there's another little secret coming later this week, so we'll leave that as a mystery. But
do I know about this secret?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, you know about this one.
Yeah, all right.
The episode that will be released this week. But thanks to 3 Zeros.
Why does it need to be a secret? Why don't we just tell them?
You want to tell them? Okay.
Yeah. Or what about the special guy? Get into a hat.
Okay, the hat is here. The hat is talking. So, exactly what we've just been talking about. We've been given the opportunity to interview someone that's got a large following, that's a pretty interesting kind of guy. So later on after you hear this episode, this week we're releasing our interview with Matt Morris, which is really exciting because he's actually a really interesting dude. Very interesting. Probably one of the most motivational and how to just get shit done and get after things conversation that we've had. And his podcast is huge. We're very lucky to have been able to interview him. Doesn't do them very often. So hopefully, especially if you're a Zero Limits listener, I hope we've done justice to interviewing Matt. But should be fun. Should be a big week.
I love how much we get worked up about it. He's just a dude, he can. Yeah. But like we went to Newcastle, and then he he spoke to us the night before. He's like, "Yep, see you in the morning. I can come past, get you guys if you need to, whatever else." He's like, "Come hang out at my lair where I hide out and do stuff." He's like, picked us up in his G-Wagon and stuff.
He'll hate that you said that. No, he's not ostentatious at all.
Mate,
it drives a normal car.
It's wrapped in gold. Like, come on now, sort yourself out, Mr. Two Ravens. But he's he was great value. And then we had breakfast with him the day afterwards. So it's not even. And since then he's like, oh, if you need access to any other people, he's like, let me know. And he's actually a really real approachable dude, and just actually wants everybody to do well. Like, he doesn't seem to be intimidated by other people doing well, which I love because there's a lot of tall poppy stuff going on in the world where if somebody else is doing well, then that means you're not doing well, which doesn't seem to be a thing that he has an issue with. He's like, nah, everybody.
Yeah, he's just lifting people up.
Yeah, he's all about it. It's been great to have a chat with him. So that's been good times.
So we'll get to hear the feedback from your episode this week, which will be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Wow, jeez. Like, it's funny, man. Like, so we talk about imposter stuff. At the time when I was talking to him, I didn't have an issue with it. But then when I've seen since then, in the last 2 weeks, the people that he's had out, the dude before me on his story at the moment literally has a hole in his neck. You know, like he's talking about,
shot through the neck.
Yeah, he's like, it came in, like smacked me in the skull or whatever, came back out the other side, like chipped my vertebrae and things. I'm like, I said some stuff online at one point. You know, like if you're looking at who's done some stuff and who hasn't done some stuff, it's funny. I just feel better because Jared Gandry's on there and he's done like sweet FA, so he makes me feel better about myself. But
starting internet beef.
Yeah, I'm going to start some internet beef. It'll be great. With a comedian's not a great way to go though, because he'll get me to his level and beat me.
It's a losing battle.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny perspective, and somehow you kept calling me out, even though it was your interview. But what did you say?
You're the coffee owl. We've talked about
I was just
this.
happy that we knew somebody that was going on Zero Limits, although we've known someone before. But it was really cool to see the process, and you have lived an interesting life, mate. So I think it'll be quite a popular episode.
Yeah, you were like into me the whole way up the road. He goes, "You getting nervous about this? This is a big deal, mate."
Yeah, I nearly derailed you.
He was trying to go, mate. You are not good enough for this podcast. You know that.
Well, the other funny thing, which probably horrifies Matt too, but when we left, you just mentioned breakfast. There was a couple of police in there getting their coffee, and they recognised him, and that's kind of when it also sunk in for me. It's like he's a big deal in these communities because he's interviewed so many people and put so many stories out there.
Yeah, it was funny when Heston came down here, and then some of the boys drove past him, like, "Hey, Heston!" They waved at him. He's like, "What? How do people know me in Victoria?" Like, yeah, it's like, well, mate, your face is all over the place.
That's the internet.
Yeah, especially when your shirt's off all the time. Like, we drove him through like Toorak and Chapel Street and stuff. He's got a big following out that way, puffed off way. Oh, right, we're all going to get awkward about it, are we?
And just for people that don't know who Heston is,
Heston Russell.
that's right.
Nah, they'll know who he is.
You reckon?
Yeah. Royal Commissioner of Veteran Suicide, and he's always on the TV. He was on the NRL footy show
Is
the
he
other
going to
day.
be a guest? Are we
Not
giving him
now.
a call to action?
Not after that last part.
He's dashingly handsome as well.
Oh, he would. If you
wanna-
weren't gay, you'd be thinking about it.
I do want to get him on. Hopefully he's listening because he's interviewed multiple Prime Ministers of Australia and he's done some unique things. So I'd really like to hear his imposter story as well as being a commander of Special Forces and stuff.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. So he's copped a lot of flack. I mean, it's a pretty staunch thing to be having a crack against the ABC. You know, you've literally had a crack at a media agency whose sole job is to pretty much destroy you over and over again. Because he'll be stressing for the rest of his life now. Because there'll be dudes there with a massive chip on their shoulder now to any little thing he does now. Yeah, they'll jump on board him. So
I don't think he's shied away from the public eye though.
Nope.
Doesn't
appear to
it. But it's always positive.
Would have by now.
It's always positive with him.
I have not seen a bloke speak better. And I mean, I don't know if he spends hours at home just like delivering them and that sort of thing, but he, mate, you put a camera in front of him and you ask him a question, he has the most well measured and well thought out response. Doesn't say like and and those sorts of things. Amazing. So yeah, definitely goals if you want to speak in front of a camera. Yeah, I mean he's a rig as well, so that doesn't hurt. That people will tolerate a lot more from a rig than they will from some large troll. So
like the three of us.
Yep. That's why we wear baggy clothes all the time.
So the 10th episode of Imposter, and to ride off sort of the, speaking
10 minutes
to
in,
Matt.
I already forgot what we were talking about. Yeah, no, 10th anniversary. Well done, everyone.
So Matt's message that you'll hear later this week is really about just getting after it and just chasing things and doing things. You'll hear a new outro from him later this week. But
Do you want to play it?
yeah, we could play it. I'll plug it in a minute. But I just jumped on Wikipedia because it's it's where all facts come from.
Oh, there is never a false thing on Wikipedia.
Never, no. But and this is more a message again for just getting out and giving something a crack. But
just do it.
so 4% of podcasts ever make 10 episodes. But this has actually been really easy because people have just been giving us opportunities and, letting us interview them and have them on. So I think that's where the preparation and just, get people around you, be accountable to others. That's one of our overriding messages. But it's pretty cool to see some of these stats. Most podcasts never make more than 3 episodes. So they put all the work into starting and all their equipment, and then they never do anything with it. But for us, it's just been people have been happy to be interviewed and come on and talk to us. So,
the other one that I did that was by accident, I think I ended up having 4 or 5. But yeah, got all the stuff and then just sat there. So until this sort of happened, it would have been the same as everyone else's one. So it's definitely a thing where you've got to be consistent. But it's funny though, the speed at which other people have sort of got around us and tried to help us out and do those sorts of things.
Well, I think it's a credit, and I know you're pretty humble, Verso, but it's a credit to you and the person you are, because a lot of these guests we are getting are through your network. Obviously, Matty Morris was through Al's association with the 30's.
Al's actively making as much racket as he can.
Yeah, he's very distracted.
Right next to a microphone.
You want to hear the new
I know,
outro,
this is on.
so
This
now
is
I've
definitely
gotta
on.
set it up.
It's definitely on me. I should have asked this beforehand.
And this is the inner workings of a podcast, right? Like, it's not all perfection all the time. But getting back to Burso, it's a credit to you, Burso, because a lot of the guests are doing favours for you and are willing to give us that chop out because you've been that person that's helped them out, that's always been there for them. So thanks, Burso.
Oh, no, you're most welcome.
So here's a little tribute to
shit,
Matt
here we
Morris,
go.
and I reckon about half, probably more than half of our listeners now will know who he is. But whether you do or don't, tune in later this week because his interview is awesome. And this is kind of the overriding message.
Do you want to play the whole, was it go for 40 seconds?
Yeah, we can start talking over it once the initial
do it.
message. Yeah, just do it.
What's the worst that's going to happen?
You ready?
Simple.
Just do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? Just do it. Simple.
So you might have picked up that his tone when he says just do it the second time is a little bit more deliberate. And that's because it took me quite a few times to actually hear that message on the day. He said it in about 1,000 different ways. But Matt has ended up in our new outro for very good reasons, because that could possibly be the best piece of self-help advice that ever existed.
I reckon.
Even though it's already trademarked.
Yeah. I reckon on the end of the first one, we play the whole thing because the rest of this part here is deep.
And if you're not familiar with this tune, it's like a meme that was made. It's Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
And he did like a green screen thing. So there's a video to it, but he sort of made it so that people could actually take the piss out of him and use this. So
That's my phone. You said something too much close to Google. This is going to be awkward if someone's like, no, I'm not going to do it because the phone will do it.
So yeah, that's one of the things that came out of this week's interview.
Do you guys want to try something new?
Okay.
You're just going to do it as we go?
I'm just going to do it now.
Calling someone?
Yep.
Okay. So today we're going to check in with a lot of the guests that we've had on already to get a little bit of feedback about what it was like, because everybody else we've had on has never been on a podcast or had any real profile before. So let's see if we can get them.
Oh, this is going to be one of those really crappy.
Oh, he should have been sitting by the phone.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
He was sitting by the phone.
Hey, Mark.
Welcome back to the Imposter Podcast, even though you haven't been published yet.
Yeah.
What is going on, gentlemen?
Mark McConnell.
We're just building up the suspense because your episodes were so deep.
Mate, I didn't say that as a throwaway line. Like, what is going on? Where is my money?
Well, mate, since you've been, and you haven't been on, so that doesn't really work. But since you haven't been on, we've actually got a sponsor now, mate. So we're sponsored by Savvy.
Ooh.
So yeah, we're gonna have to throw you some Savvy your way. Make sure you get around it.
Is it an energy drink?
Oh, obviously. Well, I've got sponsored by a calming
better than that.
drink. Look, to be fair, they do actually do calm water, which I'll do another thing on that when Mark comes on, because I'm actually It's in the other Mark, the CEO Mark, not yet to be heard Mark.
Yeah.
So, mate, it's a few weeks since we recorded with you, and
Yeah, buddy.
some of the other interviews we've done obviously have gone out. But how are you feeling about having been interviewed and the suspense of it coming out in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. Like, it's I don't think you're a proper ex-cop till you've been on a podcast.
Oh, very true.
I'm pretty excited with it, and had a little sneaky peek, listen to it, and it came out good, mate. And credit to you boys. It sounds much more professional than I know that you both are. So well played.
It's just the AI mixing. It makes us sound like we know what we're talking about.
Yeah. I've obviously done something right with the road thing. They're like, geez, you sound good on air. I'm like, yeah, person, not so much.
Big shout out to the microphones for making it happen.
Yeah. Thanks, Road. You're welcome to send just any new mics you've got.
So for the listeners, because you haven't been on yet, you're a police officer, and particularly we talked to you about your time as a negotiator. It's a very interesting interview. Something else I've enjoyed with a few of the guests now is that we've learned things about our own friends that we never knew because we've sat here and had these long conversations. So really enjoyed your episodes, mate, and looking forward to the feedback. We're just going to leave you hanging for a few more weeks there.
Yeah, no, that's cool, mate. But that's, whether it's co-workers or whether it's mates, like, you always hear the classic,
Well, even if we're
men
neither.
should, but men should talk more and all that sort of stuff, mate. And it probably is true, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of hold on to stuff a little bit for yourself, and then all of a sudden you think you're sort of revealing some big, secret, and, your mates, same as you boys, mates as well, obviously, the blokes you're talking to are like, that's what I was feeling, or that's what I was going through, and you're like, holy cow, like it's not just me on an island, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. We've actually, the people that have messaged us in, they're like, oh, when's your next cop one on? Well, I've actually got a negotiator coming on. They're like, oh, I'm super excited to hear that. So there is actually still a market for you. We haven't just shelved it just yet, but we're still in talks. Yeah. Your mum rang.
We're doing you a favour. We're waiting till there's a lot more followers so that we can build your brand.
Yeah, because yours would have been wasted on the fact that we had 17 followers earlier. So hopefully this Matty Morris thing blows us up, and they're like, oh, negotiators aren't all that bad, and then we can put a professional negotiator on instead of the one they listen to on the Zero Limits one.
Carolina has got quite huge though, so you got big shoes to fill.
He doesn't even answer our calls anymore.
Mate, neither should he.
He's actually in the Northern Territory, but we're going to try and ring him soon. And
do it, mate. Do it.
Yeah.
DC, good boy. So I'm sure he'll answer your call.
I reckon it's going to be one of those ring outs. It's going to be an awkward radio show.
Mate, the listeners haven't forgotten your challenge either that they don't know about yet. That's just occurred to me. Yeah. We haven't forgotten about your challenge, sorry.
Oh, yeah, but he doesn't realise it's growing.
Yeah, it's we're not going to tell you why, but it's going to get a lot bigger than you thought it would.
Sorry, what was that, Mike?
I was going to say, if I can be totally honest, I didn't think this podcast would succeed, so I was more than happy to agree to it.
Mate,
we just read out the stats. We're in the top 3%.
Yeah.
Hey now.
Yeah,
that's awesome, boys. Really good.
Last check, we were rated 33 on health and fitness. We'll have to see where we go after this Saturday.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Someone gave us a 1-star review, and we think we know who it is.
Yeah, we'll ring him later in this podcast.
Who's the 1 star?
Some jerk. I don't know. We're just trying to put 2 and 2 together. But we've also got mate. We'll have to chat to you when we see you in person again. But we've got a large plan, including the Palais Theatre. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh,
in future. Yeah. They only get like 2,800 people there. So back when you thought it was going to be an open mic with
don't worry,
5
what
people.
I have to do is much worse than what you have to do.
It's very.
I can hear. Didn't the Palais burn down? Didn't something burn down out that way?
A long time ago.
I went and saw it. I was there 3 weeks ago. It looked all right, but unless it's burnt down.
I'm thinking of something that's in Kilda. All right.
Yeah.
If it does burn down in the next 3 weeks, it's not me. All right.
Yeah, definitely not.
Gatsby or whatever it was.
That was
share house.
No, that was the Block did that anyway. They rebuilt that one. Anyway, this is just getting silly. We should stop doing it.
Yes.
Have you had any, like, now that you've seen, like Carolina's had over 100 downloads, mate. That's huge.
300 in total.
Is it?
For both episodes, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Over 150 for each one.
You got any second thoughts about it? You going to change your mind about letting us put it out anytime soon?
Nah, man. It's like I said, it's cool, and it's actually, I won't say therapeutic, but it's awesome. I guess it changes from talking shop back in the day when we were in the job to, you know, actually just talking to mates and, you know, going through stuff. And yeah, man, it's cool. So hopefully I can beat DC.
Well,
in fact, I guarantee I will, because I'll download it. It's 303 myself.
Share the hell out of it.
Yeah, very exciting. Oh,
Mark, you've got Fedora here as well. How you going?
Good, mate. How are you?
Not too bad. So I just wanted to say, like, I wasn't here for when the podcast happened, but some things you said were quite profound, and I just wanted to touch base on how you spoke about the train analogy and the job.
Yeah, mate, 100%.
So no pressure, but there's going to be a lot of people listening that hear that and think and assess and contemplate life and what they're doing in their life based off what you've said.
Yep.
Pretty heavy.
Yeah, mate, it is, and it's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like, and I think I said it to the lads, like, you know, realistically, policing or whatever job people are doing, it's a massive part of your life. You know, so policing was a massive part of my life, but realistically, my input on the direction or the history of Victoria Police is borderline zero. You know what I mean? So it's not a bad thing, but you just sort of have to, you know, get your head around that. And yeah, just you know, you find pretty quick that once I guess you get off that train that, you know, you lose contact with people and things like that. And, you know, that can be hard, but that's also important, I guess, for, you know, for people that are in the job, you know, in defence, in police, you know, make sure you maintain those external friendships and things like that, because, you know, people can get hooked on the job and that's all they live for. And then when I say it's just a job, that's not a bad thing. It's just one of those things, mate, where if it becomes your whole identity, then you're going to struggle. So you can start making those changes early, as in, you know, make sure you keep in contact with your mates, you know, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, that made the transition heaps easier for me.
well, most of the people I saw at work that would struggle with work had nothing on the outside. So it's like if they didn't have any hobbies, if they didn't have anything else, like they'd struggle at work because they'd come to work, then they go home, talk about work, then they'd you know, come in early for work, and then they'd speak about it on the weekend, and you know that the only sport they'd play was with people from work or whatever.
And we would kind of want to be that transition out as well. I think that was kind of early concepts of what the Imposter Podcast was being that people that can help transition people out, and it's obviously evolved into what it is now. But it was an early concept. So and you kind of embodied what we were about anyway, and it was really cool to hear that.
And then we're warehouse chat, so yeah. It's it's funny because I think it was his second guest.
Yeah, and his second recorded guest.
Yeah, and he's coming out at.
It just shows how much we valued your interview, mate.
Oh, mate, I was suspicious when
good spin.
Just got to keep him invested for a few more weeks.
When Verso was like, "Yeah, we're having some trouble with part 2," I'm like, "Oh God, don't cut me."
you know, it's a lot of it has just been some very nervous people going, "Oh, they're going to get dark humor." Like, "Oh, look, he's flying." Like that, for example, was not. We're like,
well, actually, you're responsible for the disclaimer that we had to make up, because we realised a lot of people don't understand the way and why we joke about things, not because it's distasteful, but because it's necessary processing.
Yeah, and like, to be honest, I think, you know, going back to the memory bank, that was me literally saying, you know, what you definitely don't say. You know what I mean? So like I think most people will get it, and can hopefully see, you know, the fact that all of us care. You know what I mean? Otherwise, we wouldn't have done the job. So.
It's certainly conveyed that.
Well, the thing that I had was funny was people told me that I needed a disclaimer after episode 1. I was like, well, we're literally just introducing the podcast. What have I done? I was like, what are you talking about? How has there been a thing on there? He said, well, he goes, mate, within 5 minutes, you're just like, you know, we're doing this so we don't neck ourselves or whatever. And it was just a comment in passing. And to me, I was like, well, you know, we just make fun of it. So it's like we don't shy away from the fact that suicide happens, and it's just a thing we discuss. But in other people's life, you know, it's a massive deal, and you do your mental health.
And if it's unexpected, they didn't realise they were going to hear it.
And that's good. Like, last thing I want, you know, anyone getting upset or getting triggered or whatever. So yeah, I think that's a good thing.
It's also not our job anymore, mate. That's other negotiators' issues now. But it's been funny though, because other feedback we've had has been, mums and stuff saying, "Oh, I felt the same when I had a baby." Hence why we've had, we had Jess on, and then other people have said, "Oh, that's just like being back in the crew room," or "I listen to it in the car when I'm going to and from work, and it makes me feel like I'm back on the van, hanging out with the gang." So we've had a lot of feedback that I didn't expect to get, and it's been great. So hopefully, not if yours comes out, we'll talk to our sponsors, see if they're happy to have you out. But hopefully when yours comes out, you get a lot of good feedback, and some people that have sort of ducked off the radar might start contacting you again, etc. Because that's been another thing we've had.
Yeah, it's happened for us a lot.
A bunch of people that we haven't spoken from in ages have turned back up again. So that's been good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, thank you, Mark McConnell, for joining us again, and stay tuned in the next couple of weeks for your interview to drop.
Yeah, it's funny that your recap has come out before your actual episode is coming out. But
before you cut me off, can I just address Fedora for a second?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, good. Live call out. I like it.
All right, here we go, mate. I was terrified of you, only because
I remember that.
Only because for 3 hours. I had Berto going, Fedora ain't going to like this at all.
I was like, he's going to put that on the cutting room floor. That's gone.
Let me put it this way. There's a reason for that, and I'll explain it to you off air.
But your episode is 15 minutes in total now.
And it's all the parts we spoke, not you.
Mark McConnell, and thanks for having me, boys. I'll see you later.
Thanks for the first phone interview as well. Oh, yeah.
First dial-in, mate. We'll play you out to our new outro, which you're going to love, I think.
Ooh.
And thank you for joining us.
We're going to be sick of this by the end of it now.
Thanks, lads.
Here we go.
See you, mate.
You're not going to stop there.
Just do it.
It's pretty epic.
What's the worst that's going to happen?
It's the best message you're ever going to hear.
Just do it.
I don't even like push-ups, and I want to do push-ups.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate. Have a good one.
All right, boys. Take care. See
Ciao,
you
mate.
later.
Well, I reckon that went all right.
Success, yeah.
Seems to be okay so far.
That was great.
This could be a thing. I reckon we get
You're just intimidating people without ever meeting them. That's a good little little pivot, little flair.
You wait till people speak about you and like, I've been speaking about it. They're like, oh, yeah, you told me that Al did this and Al did that. I'm like, yeah, he's a big deal.
He's
Got to
the
get around
lovable
him.
guy, and I'm the
Yeah,
not so lovable.
I just stay out of comments. No need for it.
I'm going to bounce.
Oh,
It's been
okay.
a pleasure.
Oh,
You guys continue without me, as you always do. And I'll listen to it later, as I always do.
We'll go off script with some of the other check-ins today.
try this pause button.
Yeah.
Try a pause. Why not?
All right, well, you want to say
It's
goodbye?
a
and then-
working shop podcast today, really, isn't it?
It really is.
A lot of firsts. So for anyone listening, stick around because we're just fucking around and finding out.
Thanks for
Look at
coming
him.
back on, mate.
He's like, I've just made my own reel. Well, now we're back on.
Back with our
Lesson
first
learned.
drop-in guest for the day. SJ Brand is back again.
Thank you.
Author of romantic werewolf novels, and your episode is yet to be released also.
Yes. Exciting.
But we had a very
You're,
interesting chat with you this week.
Yeah, and now that you're all caught up and stuff, how are you feeling about having it out there? Actually
Yeah,
being able to hear
excited.
yourself and seeing it on Spotify. Yeah?
Yeah, excited. Very
Awesome.
excited. Yep. The
As
kids and I listened to it on the way in. So
Yeah. Are they going to be listening to your one?
yeah, why not? Nothing I haven't said in front of them.
Well, when you read out the audiobook, it'll be different, won't it?
Yeah, slightly. Yep.
You can go now, by the way.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to discipline her earlier.
Another savvy for the day.
Oh, now look at the pressure.
Oh.
Freaking out. Yeah, go get into it. Yeah.
Mixed berry today.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're all about it.
Yeah, that's good.
That's my
Better than
favourite.
that. Because you started on lemon lime.
Mm.
And it's
Yeah.
it's an acquired taste of lemon lime. I actually like
Some
it
people
after.
love it.
Well,
Yeah.
after I've had those two, having a lemon lime, I'm like, oh, this is refreshing now.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be my go-to. Passion fruit's definitely my go-to. Berry I love for a little bit of mix up, and then when I've had the two of them, they're sweet. Then the lemon lime goes well.
Yeah. Bit of a cleanse.
Yeah, I like
So
it.
what was it like listening in the car?
Yep.
How did it, play back? What was your vibe on it?
Yeah, really good. Really good. Yeah, enjoyed it. I find it easier to listen to in the car because there's no distractions. Yeah.
We'll send you yours before it's released so you can listen to it. And if you're like, oh, that was terrible, you're welcome to jump on board. No one has so far. To be fair, the only people that have tried to change
pressure.
things have been Al and I.
Did I just misinterpret? You weren't listening to your
No, I
own
wasn't
episode?
listening
to
Oh,
it.
sorry.
No,
I thought
she's been
you
listening to us.
sent
She's
it
caught
to-
up.
Oh, okay.
Episode
Sorry, that was a
9.
bit narcissistic,
Episode
what I
9.
just said.
Yeah. No, I did. I enjoyed episode 9 and listening to
Which is
baby
talking about
stories.
Yeah, we were talking baby before. SJ smashed out a 4.5 kilo thing,
Yep.
which
Yep.
is
The little blonde thing over there. She was a toddler at birth, so
Oh,
yeah, she hasn't grown since then, but like enormous.
she's plateaued out now.
yeah.
well, it'll be interesting to get your take once you do listen to your episode as well.
Yeah.
One thing that we've found quite a lot is, we talked about actually speaking on the microphone before we start recording, but you'll probably find there's things in the conversation that you don't remember because you're so sort of immersed here that it is interesting listening back to them.
Yeah. Yep. No, it'll be a rude shock, I think, but it'll like hearing myself on radio.
Do you
but
want
it'll
to
be
say
good.
hello? Oh, you don't want to say hello? Oh. SJ's family does not want to say hello.
Yes, Austin.
I think it was really interesting just hearing an author's perspective and how, you're writing, how you do your craft.
Yep.
I think it'll be a really popular episode.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think there's probably a lot of people out there that would like to try something different, and it's not easy to write a book, but anybody can do it. So just do it.
The other thing that came
do
up,
it.
Just do it.
it's our new mantra. The other thing that came up after we stopped recording is that we could potentially do a bit of a how to start authoring episode with you. So if you're listening, let us know, on Instagram and things like that if that's something you'd want to be interested in. But we're suspicious there's quite a lot of people that are done some hobby writing or
Yeah.
We're always
written down.
suspicious though.
True, default suspicious. Yeah.
Got that creepy music, that'd be good.
Oh.
Hang on. That's the creepiest I've got.
shouldn't need
That's
to
the
be prompted,
creepiest.
mate. No.
Wow, I know. How rude is that? SJ's telling me how to do my job. She's literally the second time she's here, like, I'm going to tell you how to do this. It's like Jess. She's like, if you need a host, I'm happy to come back and do it. Oh, wow. That took a long time. Yeah. AKA get rid of
guest
Al.
hosts.
Yeah.
Did talking about it give you any revelations or making you think about any of your current storylines or anything different?
Al's trying to work out if he's now in your next book.
Yeah, well, there's this character, right? No.
The challenge in your episode's interesting, but we won't give that away just yet.
Oh, yeah, that'll be good. I don't know. I actually went and had dinner at my dad's house Friday night. So after recording and had a chat about like everything that we've spoken about. And Dad sort of talked about all the stuff that he'd written when he was younger and how, you just get knocked down a few times and that's it. You don't want to write anymore. And I even said to him, I've gone, you realize you can still, if you've got all the stuff you've written, you can still turn it into a book. Like you can still do it. So I think it took that conversation with you guys to realize that I'm not the only one that's probably got the same story where your dreams have been hit on the head and it makes you stop doing what you're doing. And then potentially some people are too old to start again by the time they realise they can.
Well, there's plenty of things that you can't start at like 70. Like you're probably not going to be a speedway driver or something like that, right? But
professional boxer.
Well, Tyson's about to get into another fight, isn't he?
But
at
he's done
60?
it before. He's
true.
conditioned to a degree.
Yeah, you're not going to start doing it. But it's there's heaps of things that you can do though that when you were younger that you would come back to. It was funny. So when I was thinking about stuff that I did younger, like things that I wanted to do, like I always wanted to be an Air Force pilot, but I can still get my pilot's license. A mate of mine's trying to get me to do that now. But one of the things when I was pushing trolleys with one of the other boys, we wanted to be on radio, and I didn't even think about that until sort of you were talking about it at being children, and then we cut it away and stuff. So I was like, I'm literally coming full circle now with that thing. So that's been interesting as well. I told my parents I was like, I said, she wrote a book and then an author came and at 11 said, your book's crap. They were livid. They were so livid about it.
Very traumatic story that you'll get to follow along with.
I've got vicarious trauma now through hearing that. I'm
don't
horrified.
meet your heroes and don't write letters to them either.
Yeah. But it was funny because we were all talking there. Like, I guarantee you, if somebody had that much impact in my life, I'd know who they were.
Yeah. Did
They'd
your
be
dad
on my
know
list.
the author name? I bet you asked him.
I bet you SJ knows who it
I
is.
sort of, when I reminded Dad of it, I sort of saw the look on his face where it was like, oh yeah, I remember that. It was kind of like, I've got another reason to be.
And he's concerned that you still remember it.
Yeah. I think too, parents don't realise how much things can impact like younger kids. Like I've got an 8, 6 and a 3-year-old, and I've got to be mindful about things that I say, especially to the 8-year-old, even in jest, like if she does a drawing or whatever, and you're like, even if you go, oh, what is that? And their little heart breaks because they're like, what do you mean? What
Isn't
is
it
that?
obvious?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah,
like, oh, you tell
it's
me
you,
what
Mum.
it is.
Yeah. Yeah, but like it's I think it's just tone that like, what is that? You're like, oh, that's lovely. Talk me through it. You
Yeah.
know, like it's just a different way of saying things. That's what I was wondering. I'd love to be able to read what their response was. And if you'd read it as an adult, whether it was like actually constructive criticism, but as an 11-year-old, it was earth shattering because they said,
Yeah.
you know, like the letter might have been at this stage, it's not the greatest book, but you have got like, but I can see the potential. And as an 11-year-old, you're like, my dream author said it was the worst thing that's ever happened.
Yeah.
You know, like it'd be interesting to read it back now, but it
Could
is.
it have even been like a Key and Peele skit where he reads the text messages just totally out of context and you've taken it all the wrong way?
Yeah.
Potentially.
But imagine that, you know, like communication's such a massive thing. It's,
Yeah.
you know, like, and your perception of what's happened versus what the actual person's intent was can
Yeah.
be so different and so life-changing. Like,
I think though, and I thought it was funny because Dad goes, you know what? She would have been jealous. I'm like, oh, the boys said exactly the same thing.
like how much skill is
Thwarting
this?
a competition for
Yeah.
the future.
This kid at 11 has got so much talent. They're like, nah, I don't need this in my life. I'm going to smash it.
Yeah, she probably just writes for the Daily Mail now. So what of it?
Oh, damn. This is all about internet beef today.
Yeah, we started a few.
Oh,
few
really?
riffs.
Yeah. I've called out some other punters.
So our overriding message for the day is just do it, and
Just
you'll
do
hear
it.
our new outro in a little bit. But
We're not going to play it again for the 4th time today.
I don't know. Should we just keep playing it? Well, when you listen back to this episode, you'll hear it. But as well as talking about in your episode, do you reckon people should just, whether it's for their own therapy, just write things? And we talked about it kind of being a form of memory and processing as well. And
I think putting things down on paper, whether it's typing or I think handwriting is probably the best way to do it. It really says a lot. Even at work, you could be furious about something and you type up an email and just like don't press send. just
Yep.
type it out and draft it and then reread it. And that in itself is a therapy.
I think you might creatively writing on a computer is better because you actually want to do it. If you want to write handwriting, an angry, like if you write an angry letter,
in capitals, in red pen.
yeah, like get as aggressive
Yeah.
as you want in your letter because that's not sending. You know, like you've then got to put it into an envelope. You've got to then take it to the place to actually deliver it to somebody.
Yeah.
but that's a legitimate psychological technique.
Oh, really?
Is you write the angry letter to someone that's annoyed you.
Then burn it.
Well, you know, the option one is that you write it and you don't send it, but it's like it extracts that out of your brain and puts it on the paper and you can kind of let it go. And then the second stage is you can edit it and make it a bit more polite and actually send it if you do want to have back and forward with that person. But
Yeah, because I'll write an angry email and then I'll be like, you know what, yeah, and then send it. And you're like, oh, and then you're on the
Did I just send that?
and then you're trying to work out how you can unsend it because there's a 30-second window. You're googling how to get rid of it and stuff.
And then
yeah,
your fingers don't work properly and everything's happening in slow-mo and you're like, oh my God.
yeah. Then you're running down to
definitely
the
sit on a draft for a little while and make sure you're happy with it.
you're running
Yeah.
down to the boss's computer and you throw the keyboard out or whatever it is so they can't open stuff.
Just the whole computer. Yeah.
So have you got back to our 10th anniversary extravaganza, 1,000 listens. Big deal today.
Very exciting.
Yeah. Have you got any second thoughts about it coming out or are you more excited after listening to the podcast?
Yeah, more excited. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Happy with that then?
I did nearly throw my laptop out the window last night trying to make a Patreon.
Oh.
I got it, linking it to my social media accounts and it's
that
linking it
was
to the
one
wrong
of the challenges that we gave you was to actually start getting paid for your work.
Yeah.
So we'll have some links to your Patreon once it's up and about.
Totally.
But
You've got a little bit of breathing time. today.
I needed breathing time last night. Yeah.
Did you write us an angry letter?
No, but the kids kept getting up out of bed and I was like taking it out on them a little bit.
Oh.
So, yeah. They were like, oh, damn, Burso.
Oh, great. Now there's other people's kids yelling at me.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
we'll find out. If you need any help, I need to look into it as well. So maybe we can share the frustration of navigating Patreon.
Yeah.
Another thing I was thinking with challenges is we make it like, you know how like they had the Ice Bucket Challenge or whatever where they call people out to get on? I was thinking we can have guests come on and then they get another guest to come on that they think would be great. 'Cause that way it'll still be part of the community. Obviously we reach out and try and speak to other people, but if you've got people, because we don't know everybody, if you've got people that you think are cool and we should get on, or if You know, it's like when I spoke to you in the van that time, and you're like, oh, you know, I've had this many listens, and it's been good, and this and that. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like you're doing so much better than you think you are.
Yeah.
So like, and everybody has friends like that where they've got a punter there. So if we get them on, and we can sit there and say, just do it.
Yeah.
And even just getting them on the podcast, like I said to you after you left, I was like, well, it's out there now. I'm like, so you can't. It's all good and well to think it in your head, but you put it on. It's been recorded.
Yeah.
It's going to be released. It's like what you've said now. You sort of have to do.
You're accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's only to us, and we don't really care. Like we'd rather see you succeed than fail, but we're not going to tell you you're a shit person for not doing it.
Are you sure?
Well, Fedora does.
SJ, I might get your help because I totally forgot something while Fedora was here. Oh. And there is a challenge which I think needs to be redeemable this week from Verso.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because this is his big week.
You said you wanted to wrap this up, so I might just pause it.
Well, he's fulfilling one of his challenges this week. So as we listen to this, he is now live as a guest on the Zero Limits podcast.
Oh.
But another challenge that he was given was to write a poem about himself because that's his least favourite topic. And I think that it needs to be delivered this week whilst he's topical and in the news. What do you reckon?
Yep.
Not the news.
Yeah,
Zero Limits isn't the news.
Yeah, well, it's our form of news.
Yeah.
So I think by
I really need a
Thursday,
boo button.
I think
Let me
actually to
change
be
all the sound
released
effects.
on Thursday when we release Matt Morris's episode ourselves,
You're right. Okay.
we will have a video slam poetry by one C. Burson on
Also, he's doing a
Instagram.
reading as well.
Yeah,
He's gonna write
it's
and read.
actually a live, what do you call it? Live post. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We've got to get the algorithm helping us.
He's been thinking about this since I got into a read erotic novel.
Yeah.
He's like, if I'm reading sex stuff out on there, he's like, I'm going to make Verso pay when SJ comes back.
So this Thursday, mate. I can't remember. Did we give you a topic? It just had to involve
It was me.
you. Just you.
Yeah,
Okay.
the topic was me.
All right. Well, maybe it could.
And you can't take the piss out of yourself.
Well, I can. Yeah, see,
Yeah,
I
no,
like it.
That would be
no,
too
no.
easy.
I'll let you do that because that's like the humility side of it. If you take the piss out of yourself, otherwise it's got to be like totally arrogant.
Yeah,
Or maybe that would be funnier.
I do come across very arrogant already. Thanks to everybody
Is
in
that the
there.
imposter?
No, it's all the people in the DMs going, Al's such a beautiful guy. It's so beautiful to see him coming out. I really identify with Al. Like, shut up. All right, all you Al fans. I'm all about beef
Because the
today.
talking comes so easy to you. Mate.
This is the beef episode. I'm gonna turn off all Al's fans. It's going to be a me versus Al thing in the comments now.
How long should his poem go for? What should the minimum time and maximum time be?
Oh, depending. It's all about quality, not quantity. So.
Well, we're not going to get that, so let's give him the time.
Like, all day, 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
No, kidding.
It's like a novel. I'd rather read one of your
A
chapters
minute?
out.
Is a minute a long time to read
minute's a long
poetry?
time for a
Because you've
poem.
written poetry, which we
Yeah.
talked to you about.
Nah, short and sweet, but it's got to
Any rules? Do you
If
reckon
it's
you
slam
can't
poetry,
just
it'll
rip
be-
off
it'll be
a
theatrical.
violets? Roses
No.
are red, violets are
Yeah.
blue. It's got to be
Yeah.
original. But
Might
it
even
can
do
be
it.
slam poetry. You said
Yeah.
you're into doing it that way.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's fine.
It's theatrical. I like it.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to rhyme.
Doesn't it?
No, poems
easy
don't need to
done.
rhyme.
Easy
Do a
done.
little bit of research.
Yeah.
But rhyming
I have
is
been. I've
easier.
been looking at, Little Man's Back.
Okay. What about,
Yeah, dude.
we'll leave it up to you, but maybe you could just incorporate the themes of this week and being,
Yeah.
on zero limits and stuff like that. So-
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll make sure you help me keep him accountable, SJ.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
thank you for joining us again for our check-in 10th episode.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, kids just trashing the joint. But
No, I like it.
Yeah.
Do you want to say hello?
Everyone's welcome today on the check-in.
Oi, say hi.
Hello. Thanks for joining us.
Hopefully that came through. Does he want to talk into the mic?
Do you want to talk off here? Don't pull it.
Say good day.
Say hi into that.
How funny is that? You can't even, it's not even, he sees the mic and he's too scared.
Say hi, Burso. No?
Yeah. All right. This
Well,
could take
thanks
a
for
while.
dropping in today.
Some crickets, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've got that. No, I don't. There we go.
Thanks for having
I
me.
was so
guys.
close. Oh, hello there. Oh, hang on a minute. How you doing? I've got a call waiting. Who would have thought?
Oh, did you really?
Hang on. Yeah.
Hi, Jess Taylor. How are you?
Anyway, Jess Taylor,
Al?
superstar
Hello.
of episodes 8 and 9. Welcome on. We've also got SJ here. So now it's 50-50 today, right now.
Hi, Jess. How you going?
Good, thank you. Hi, SJ. How are you going?
Good.
Well,
Good.
yeah, we're just doing a little chicken ring around at the moment. Oh, meanwhile, SJ said she had a 4.5 kilo baby.
Same as
Did
you.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, first one and a girl as well. So who would have known?
Oh, that's
I've just finished your
insane.
podcast and I was like, oh my gosh, me too.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's nice to always meet a fellow big baby.
Traumatized mother, yep.
Traumatized mother, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But we're just doing ring arounds at the moment, Jess, saying good day to everybody from the Imposter Podcast has helped us so far, being that we're 10 episodes in, 1,000 downloads, pretty big deal.
Huge deal.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, look, if we took yours out, we'd still be on 400. So realistically, Jess is a big deal. Just ringing, how's it been since the podcast has come out? How have you felt about it for starters?
It's been great. It's been really, really fun and really uplifting, super positive. Yeah, it's been a huge vibe. I really didn't expect to get such great feedback, to be honest, especially from fellow friends that haven't got children and things like that. Yeah, it's been really great.
And you've obviously slid into our DMs because you're advertising that you're happy to be a podcast host. So we'll get you back on at some point.
Trying to get rid of Berto already.
Yeah. Well, it's all about crowd favourites here. We'll do a vote. We'll do see who gets out. Be like Survivor on this podcast.
I have had a lot of feedback about the sound of my voice, which has been really funny because I would have thought I'd be hard to listen to, but apparently not. That's just my husband's opinion.
Oh, this is the beef episode. People have just been beefing on this. I love it. Being with that, we have a thing where SJ here is an author of erotic fiction, but we're going to need more females to voice some characters. You happy to come on?
Do it.
Context. You need more context.
No, that's it. How you
of reading the book.
Yeah, it's reading the book.
Audio book.
Oh, we're not making movies, man. It's not an OnlyFans.
I would love to read your book.
Oh, yeah.
No, to read it aloud.
Out loud?
As in be one of the characters in the audio book is what he's saying.
So one of the things was SJ was we're looking at making SJ some extra content, which will mean us reading out her chapters, for example. And SJ is going to give us little character parts and we're all going to sit around the table and read erotic fiction together.
Oh, my God.
Bonding experience.
But we're going to need...
That's for sure.
Yeah, so we're going to need more females, though. Are you happy to get involved? Like you'll be like a werewolf or a panther or some weird stuff.
We've had good voice feedback, so you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds great.
I got the perfect character for you, so don't worry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell her so she can read it beforehand, get a little bit...
I've actually been told by a few people that I've spoken to over the phone throughout my lifetime that I do sound, a little bit, on the phone. And I'm like, oh, my God, I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
Sexy phone voice.
How many people have you spoken to?
Wow.
How many people have you spoken to in that space? How do you know how they sound?
Well,
Verso knows how they sound.
Well, at $4.95 a minute, I know how they sound on credit card numbers I've made up. So have you got any other friends or anyone that you want to dob in to try and get them on the podcast?
I do have a few friends that I want to get on your podcast, yes.
Okay, very exciting. It's a thing where...
A couple of incredible women that have great stories to share, yeah. I definitely think they would have experienced a bit of imposter syndrome in their time as well throughout their journey, so I do, yes.
Loving it. This is a thing where, this is me being lazy, obviously, because it's my job's to get guests. I'm just handballing this now. I'm outsourcing it. Yeah, but if anyone's got any cool people to speak to, we're all about it. So if you've got some punters, and if they come on, maybe they'll have a character from SJ's novel as it progresses. This might be ended up our thing. It started off as a podcast. Now we're erotic novelists or voice actors.
Is, right?
Yeah,
side stream.
Yeah.
I definitely do want to come back on though, guys. I do. I'd love to come back on and have one more podcast just to share a few
just one
things
more.
I think that will make me feel quite content and satisfied.
Okay. All right. Well, Al and I leave women unsatisfied all the time, so it's not. This isn't rare for us.
What did you leave on the table?
Yeah.
What's episode 3 going to be?
I think it'd be nice to just share the things that I've been doing more recently.
As in post-mother.
As a mum, as well as, focusing more on myself. That's the sort of feedback I got. A lot of mothers were like, oh, I can really relate to the fact that you felt like you lost yourself. And I think just sharing the things that I've been doing in the last maybe 6-12 months and that journey would be really, really uplifting. And, I'd love to sort of share the strategies and things that I've been doing at home to work on that that area of my life, because I feel like I've got a little bit to share in that space. So yeah.
We also still need you to take us through a yoga class.
Koya. Yeah, Koya.
Koya.
Do Koya, yeah.
Don't look at
Yeah.
me.
Minimal
You know what it
dancing,
is.
maximal yoga, please.
I reckon we get an imposters class.
We
get,
can
That'd be
fill it
so
up.
cool.
we'll get everyone together. We'll read some erotic fiction and do some yoga.
Bit of lycra.
Oh, yeah. You guys would love
Yeah.
the dancing. Don't forget, guys, it's all about the moves and the
Look, if
shaking and the dancing.
Is this like
Val
what's
and
the
I
Will
wearing-
Ferrell one with the capoeira, like the flowing?
Oh, there's Blaze of Glory. That's probably more us.
That's lycra, spandex, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to work out those separate because I don't want to be wearing lycra whilst reading erotic novels. I'm going to get a cop a charge there. I
Grey
reckon.
tracksuit pants. That's
Yeah.
what you're going to wear. I know.
Just you spoke very candidly in your 2-part series. Have you got any advice for maybe the guests you're going to nominate or anyone else that might come on about, speaking on a podcast and having your friends and family hear it?
I feel like probably just be transparent and honest, because I feel like people can relate to that more and that type of feedback that I've had. And obviously it's normal to be a bit nervous at the start. People could hear that in my voice, that with the first one.
Mate, me and I are big deals. That's
so
fair.
it's fine. I'd just say you get through that first bit, and when you get into your story, it will become easier.
Once
Maybe
the
write
savvy
down
kicks.
a few things you'd like to talk about, because there was a few things when I listened to them, I was like, I wish I sort of said that. So maybe having a few prepared dot points. But otherwise, just enjoy the experience. It's been such a nice experience just being able to tell a story and share it. It's actually quite therapeutic. So I'd just say to people, be honest and give you a true story. Yeah, that'd be my advice.
So far in this podcast, we've had internet beef that we're starting, but most people have said the actual chatting part's been therapeutic. So that's an interesting thing.
So therapeutic. And I think it's also therapeutic having people listen and
Not like your husband.
yeah, exactly, right? Just like have them listen and give you some feedback and relate to you. It's so therapeutic, honestly. That's one of the biggest things I'd say I've experienced from this. And even hearing myself talk, I know it sounds probably a bit cheesy, but I like listening to myself speak about it all. It was a nice story to listen to. I thought it was really, good to listen back.
If it
that
helps,
was even therapeutic.
Al and I just listen to us in the car. We love it. We're like,
Purely
geez,
for editing purposes.
we are sexy animals. That's literally why we've done this podcast, is to get into erotic novels, and we've finally found our niche.
Faces for radio.
Oh,
You
wow.
guys do sound so good. Everybody said that. All the feedback. So I should give you guys some feedback. It wasn't just about me. They said that.
That's all we've got
the
time
hosts
for
were
today.
So good. The hosts are great. They bounce off each other so well, and they sound so good. And it's like they've been doing this forever. I'm like, I know. Isn't it so natural how well they flow as a team? And you guys got some great feedback from people too.
We have talked shit a lot
Thank
for
you.
a lot of times.
It seems like even some
You're
of our dark
professionals,
humour
you
went down
talkers.
okay.
I loved it.
Cool.
Well, thank you.
Righto,
And
Jess.
thanks to some of your friends and family that have been very generous sharing and giving feedback as well. So we really appreciate them.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
We'll have to plan an episode or a part 3 with you, Jess.
We might even
I would
have a
really
one that
that.
Al and I just sit in the background and we have sisters doing it for themselves. Make the sisters podcast off.
Oh, yeah.
Again, this is me outsourcing.
I've got some things I'd like to talk to Jess about. so-
Oh, damn. We'll take that offline.
Ooh.
No, about kids and not a real
I'd love that.
Yeah.
I'd love to have another person to talk to. That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Jess. Much appreciated.
Thanks for the call, guys.
Hey.
Have a lovely afternoon.
We'll do. Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh,
Mark, welcome to the
Mark,
Imposter Podcast finally.
hurry. Get around him. You just rang us whilst I was speaking to somebody else.
Sorry about that.
No, yeah, you're right. Man, this is like a radio show today. We've done
Lots
like
of
4 or 5 different phone
Live
calls.
call-ins from all the different guests.
People have actually dropped in. It's been a what are we calling it? Podapalooza.
Podapalooza.
No, I just made that up, but I reckon that's what we call it. Podapalooza every 10
Catchy.
episodes.
I like it. It's catching on.
Yeah.
We've also got SJ, one of our author guests on at the moment, and she's trying the berry savvy at the moment.
It is delicious.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, SJ. Nice to hear.
Nice to meet
She
you.
we gave her one to take home for her hubby, and then he's like, I was like, have you tried the berry one? He goes, no, he wouldn't let me. would let me have it. So he's taking it for a day out in the golf. So we'll see if he's shooting under or over par afterwards.
Oh, under, surely.
Surely.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Well, that's how this podcast has been the whole time, under par. So makes sense.
Mark, thank you for supporting us through the first 10 episodes, which has been a really cool experience for us. And having Savvy on board has been really cool, and having some consultation with you as well.
Oh, guys, my absolute pleasure. And thanks for giving me the opportunity as well. I think what you guys are doing is awesome. And I was looking at some content actually that you guys shared about how the imposter syndrome can be a strength. I think it was a recent comedic that
Jimmy Carr.
Yeah, it was Jimmy Carr's one last night, and I actually really enjoyed his take on it, because you're right. If you really go ahead and you drill down upon the Imposter Podcast, it is something you should strive. Not the podcast, sorry, the Imposter Syndrome is something you should strive to almost get back to every couple of years, because if you're not constantly achieving new things and you feel comfortable, then you're not really growing. So I like it. Everyone's kind of saying the same thing, like get comfortable doing uncomfortable things, or constantly go in and out of imposter syndrome. I think it's great, because it does mean you're growing and you do get better and better at handling that situation. And that's what it's all about.
I think that it was JP was talking about, Jordan Peterson was saying about the lobster and how they keep growing inside until their shell gets that uncomfortable that they have to grow and they start a new one.
They have to level up.
Yeah, that's sort of, it's funny where you get to a point where you're in a job or you're doing whatever and it's successful and it's just every day and you're just like, I'm not learning anything. It's like, it's easy because I'm all over this at the point, but I'm not really growing. And then a lot of people get comfortable there instead, and they're like, well, I'm happy being in the biggest fish in this little pond. And then but other people are like, oh, there's an ocean on the other side of that. I'm happy to get bigger and bigger. And then, but everybody has these little puddles that they jump from to get to bigger ponds. If you go from
absolutely. And I think another thing as well, which is important, is trying to be careful not to be judgy. That's one thing that I've definitely had to be conscious of, is as I'm trying to grow from bit to bit to bit, I have to be super conscious that for some people who have other priorities, they're happy just to do whatever job, and if they don't have love for it or find it particularly compelling, that's fine, as long as they're doing what they need to do. So that's one thing I have noted is it's the the Instagram influencer who's grabbing the selfie mode camera at 5 a.m. going, hey, I've just done my third workout of the day, about to hit the ice bars. What are you losers doing? You haven't awake yet? Like, you don't want to be that guy. And I don't mean obviously no one's going to be as extreme as that, but it's just also just having a chat with your mate who might just be happy just being comfortable, and just realizing that people don't want to be told, hey, you should be growing.
Stay hard.
Yeah, exactly right. It's one thing I've definitely noticed is you will grind a lot of your mates' gears if you keep trying to talk about wanting to grow and get better. You have to make sure that conversation is warranted and asked for, and you're not accidentally throwing out advice that they haven't requested or want, because they're not going to self-reflect and learn in that moment. Instead, they're just going to get pissed off at you for making them feel bad.
I think in Coach Carter, there's a part there where they talk about it, about shining a light so others can then find their way, as opposed to putting a spotlight on them and going, do something, dance monkey. It's for example, you doing what you're doing, like if you get up early, you're traveling around, you're studying, you're doing all this sort of stuff, and then, it comes across like, nothing's enough, where you're like, oh, I could be doing more, or I should be doing this, or I should be doing that. And that's like, it's inspiring. I think it's more about being inspiring rather than, pushing people out of their comfort zone. Like if you show people that it can be done, then I think it's a lot better rather than trying to drag people, because people either want to do it or they don't.
Like it's a quote from like one of my favorite movies, Coach Carter. It's the whole idea of like, there's nothing enlightened about shrinking to try and like relax so those around you don't feel insecure. We're all meant to be there, kind of like trying to shine, and it's something that we can all do. And so basically by shining and leading by example and being cool, we're consciously giving people around us to do the same. And we're kind of like liberating ourselves from any kind of fear, inhibitions, imposter syndrome, and that kind of allows everyone around you to feel more comfortable. Challenging ideals and constructs that they may have been a party to for a long period of time. But yeah, I think you're very right in saying it's also you got to be careful that you don't do it in a way that makes any of your mates feel bad. You're trying to lift everyone up, not do it in a way to make others feel small and shrink. You're trying to do it in a positive way. And sometimes striking that balance can be challenging. But yeah, it's a cool thing. But anyway, how's everyone's weekend?
Yeah, good. This is supposed to be coming out Monday too, by the way, as in tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Which will make no sense now when someone's listening to this on Tuesday. But yeah, so we're excited about this. We've had 10 episodes now. This is number 10, and we've had 1,000 downloads. We have a sponsor. So as far as we're concerned, we're professional podcasters.
Yeah.
Level 0.1 is going right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been awesome having you on your board. And the funny thing is, our best reels are anything we've done with Savvy in it, rather than us talking. It's just been us opening a Savvy at the Dog on a Tucker box is the best one we've done.
Mark, I wanted to ask, we've been enjoying the range of Savvy beverages quite a lot, and we've had quite a few of the listeners getting around it as well. So
yeah, we're drugging them.
What's what's the optimal day with the nootropics? Do you have a couple of drinks a day or a calm at night, or what's the secret regimen?
Ooh. So everyone is so different, and I guess that's probably the most fun thing to keep in the forefront of our minds is what I say for what I do does not mean by any means at all it's the right thing to do. It's just right for me.
Chicken. Way to
sound like
disclaimer.
An imposter.
Yeah, way to say disclaimer on everything. just say it. Have 4 Savvies a day. Just say it, Mark.
No.
How many do you do?
Yeah, no, it wasn't that at all. It was more the fact that I love that everyone can have very, very different responses to different types of nootropics. So for me, I'll normally get up. Some days I'll have caffeine before the workout. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll just rely on like an ice bath to go ahead and be the big kick in the ass to get down to the gym. So every day is a little bit of a different one, but more often than not, it's having there's the coffee version of Savvy, which I quite like. It's having that prior to the gym. And then it's coming home and doing my morning routine and then working for a couple hours. I'll normally then kind of snack on one of the energy bars. Then I might have like one of the drinks for lunch just because it feels like I'm having like a sugary soda, but not obviously. And then usually for me, if I have a speaking gig or something, I might actually have like a calm product beforehand just so I don't get nervous and muddle my words and stuff it up. Like I was doing a huge big thing last year talking on stage for the first time ever at a huge health expo. And I was actually talking about nootropics. And so I remember getting a bit concerned when I was just about to go up there. I spent ages making the slideshow, getting it all prepared. And then suddenly I realized that there was a small audience that was just forming and there was more and more people coming. And I was just like, oh, holy shit, they're here. These people are smart and they're here to talk to me, listen to me talk about nootropics. And there's half the people here are probably way more well-versed on all this stuff than I am. And so I ended up having a triple dose of the calm serving just to help me feel a bit more cool and comfortable up on stage. And yeah, it actually did make a big difference, which was great because at the end of the day, when you kind of break it down, when you're doing a speech or anything like that and you get really nervous beforehand, the nerves are more often than not coming from the fact that you care and you want to deliver a great performance. However, that anxiety can go ahead and actually take from your ability to perform. So I view it as a performance enhancement sometimes by literally just reducing anxiety and stress and getting a bit more focused and controlled. So then when I was up on stage for half an hour or so, weirdly enough, I wasn't completely without anxiety or stress, but I was way more cool and calm and collected and cruising around going from slide to slide. I like to imagine I was like the dude from Apple unveiling a new iPhone. I was definitely nothing like that, but that's how I was in my head.
So you're an Apple man, not an Android guy, obviously.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. And the worst part is, like, I know that they are the most expensive and least effective of these tools, but
Makes it better as long as you know that.
Yeah, I know, and I'll still use them. I don't know, and it's the tiniest learning curve in the world to learn how to use the other ones, but I can't be bothered.
Basically, can you
answering your question? I realised I hit a little tangent. I'll normally have them the calming stuff mid-afternoon, and reason why I kind of switch across to that is I want to be able to break out of what I call work mode. So when my partner comes home at 5:30, 6 o'clock, I want to be not all super focused, jacked up, excited to just. I don't want to be in productive mode. I want to be in like relaxed, chill, happy partner mode who can just we can start making dinner together, and I can be like, hey, how was your day? And do it in a cool, calm, collected way, and like be a listener if I need to hear about her day, as opposed to still being in like productive mode, because that's also not a good place to be all the time. So I think, having both products is great. The next ones will be doing more focused around mood and memory, but I wanted to do the most pertinent to important things for people, which is a natural, healthier, long-lasting way to have energy and uplift and focus, but also very much on the other side of that, mental clarity, anti-anxiety and anti-stress.
So,
awesome.
So how many savvies can I do a day? That's what we want.
Dude, you're gonna have loads. So like I annoyingly for the drink, because we put a really large amount of vitamins, I have to legally say no more than one per day on the can.
We noticed that.
That's why we're asking, because we're like,
we've been infringing on that.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not dead yet, so.
Like on large days, you can have like 4, 5, 6. You can have as many as you want, really.
You can have 6.
Like back in the day,
you heard it first. You can have 6 savvies, everybody.
When I was back in like law, I was definitely getting beyond 1 and a bit grams of caffeine a day. Remembering that 3 to 4 can be enough to put you in comatose/dead state. So, yeah, caffeine all in all can be. It's just worth noting because some people have.
Death and coma is definitely worth noting.
No, because some people have like massive serves of pre-workout and have half a gram of caffeine in one go.
Correct, I do.
And then they'll have like more coffees throughout the day and energy drinks and more. And I don't know. I just feel like it's important to let people know that it's a hardcore psychoactive drug, and yes, you have too much actually can have some pretty dire consequences.
Now, Mark, I know you. I'm going to try and get out of this without an hour of your time. But I'm just wondering when.
I feel like I've just been insulted for you.
No. Mate, I've said it before. Do not ring Mark.
We want to sit down with you for multiple hours sometime very soon.
Yeah, because you're disappearing now for a while. How long before we can get you actually, because you're obviously pretty busy. How's your schedule over the next couple of months?
These next 2 months are probably the most intense, and then I think things will be way more relaxed in July. Reason for that is I have my first major trade show for Savvy in start of June.
Where's that?
It's at the Entertainment Centre. Oh, now it's called the Convention Centre in Darling Harbour. At the start of June Sydney, the 3rd and 4th of June. It's called Naturally Good. Myself and my friend decided to co-exhibit. So these things aren't cheap to go to. Like you pay $15,000 to just get some floor space, and then you got to go ahead and spend money to bring in tables. I have to rent a fridge, and I think $700 is a fair price to rent a fridge to me for 2 days. Right. And then the price to just go, you got to get stuff, this, that. Anyway, so before you know it, you spend a lot of money. So I'm trying to work extra hard in the next week or two just to try and make sure there's enough money to pay for all this crap I need to do. There's also so much. The challenge is trying to keep the business from not falling over while at the same time spending all this extra time preparing for that. Also, I'm getting married in June. So it's also just making sure we've done all those last little bits and pieces to make sure that goes off without a hitch.
So can Al and I come to your event and live stream?
I thought you were going to ask to come to the wedding. I'm like,
he will ask that. So.
Yeah. Now that's an offline conversation I'll have.
I'd have to refer you to Emma. But yeah, July onwards, free as a bird.
Rightio.
Well, Mark's got a very interesting story from lawyer to nootropics founder to subject matter expert on nootropics, which we'll see whether you accept that term or not. But we'll have to sit down for a long conversation as soon as we can.
I like referring to myself as a nootropics dealer.
Yep, good.
I'm also keen to get a guava flavour.
Ooh, yeah.
So we'll have
Guava, okay.
Yeah, we'll have to talk.
Or
I'm a guava.
lychee.
I'm a guava cruiser man. So
Well,
yeah,
thanks
okay.
thanks for calling in today, Mark, and we'll catch up with you as soon as we can.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much.
we'll have to obviously do a 10-hour special with you at some point later on down the track. There's a lot to talk about. I literally want to get into this calm water because like you had the pack in there, and I've had it, and I was like, this is amazing. Anyway, we're going to talk again, Mark. This is how we do things. I'm going to cut you away, mate, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Oh, I've been kicked. All right, lads. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Sorry. Boys and girls, I should say. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's been a pleasure having me. short and sweet. I got to get used to this.
Well, I don't know that we can get you. This will probably be the only time. Maybe on the 20th episode and the 30th episode, I might get you under. Look, we're literally almost coming up to 20 minutes already, mate. I would like. We'll try and get in.
What I'd love is if there's any like major topics that you want to try and discuss. I think having an agenda is.
We're not talking about gender, mate. That'll get us cancelled.
Yeah, no, we can talk about whatever because unfortunately,
how do you feel about erotic novels?
Oh,
erotic novels.
Yeah, we're doing live readouts. He's not got a voice for
novel.
We'll have to get him down. You'll have to get a character. So one of the challenges we've got is SJ. You obviously haven't heard it yet because it didn't come out, but she does. She writes erotic fiction, and we're all going to get together and do some table reads. It's going to be a side hustle of ours.
I'll pick a character for you, Mark.
Yeah. So you're welcome to come and get on board.
Yeah, do we have to like read in husky voices and stuff?
Oh yeah.
It's SJ's trying to make. Yeah, she's trying to make money out of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So be as sexual as you can.
I'll try and get a ripper cold. I sound sexy as hell when I got a really bad cold.
Well, Al and I are gonna.
Kind of does, right?
Al and I are gonna smoke like 4 cigars just to get real husky.
That's another great way to do it. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this up, Mark. I'll speak to you soon. All
right, sounds good. Thanks,
everyone.
Mark.
Thank you so much for the shares. Appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Well, thank you very much, Mark, for ringing up. Thanks to everyone, except for old Carabanana, who didn't answer his phone. So that's
knew we were going to ring, but didn't want to talk to us.
Yeah, too cool in the Northern Territory.
His listens will plummet now.
And, big shout out to everybody that's given us 4 stars or 1 star on Apple. Yeah, I know, jerks. Don't worry, we're looking into it. We're looking into it. We'll find you.
Well, it's been a good bit of fun today. A little bit of a check-in with everyone for our 10th episode, and really happy that we could get most of our guests involved.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for hanging out again, SJ.
No, thanks.
It's been good.
Yep.
We'll have to get you back on for some certain stuff, and we'll have to work on the readings when they're coming. That'll be very exciting times.
And just a reminder, if you finish this, then jump on and listen to Chris's interview on Zero Limits today as well.
Yeah, get around Zero Limits.
Get around that, and then get around our interview with Matt on Thursday.
Yeah, if you want to hear more about Matty, because he talks to everyone else. But yeah, Matty's actually quite an interesting dude, so get around him.
And we'll leave you with our new little outro that has Matt in it.
Oh, not this one.
Not that one?
We've got a new one. Thank you very
with
much.
the new one?
Matty Morris. Yeah, get around him. Check it on.
We'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Just do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? Just do it. Simple.